After taking a year off, Assassin's Creed is back. And to be honest with you, I didn't really get along with the last two Assassin's Creed. I thought Assassin's Creed Origins was really boring, and I didn't like the setting, I didn't like the characters. It was the only Assassin's Creed I have not completed. I did play Odyssey, which I preferred to Origins, which I know is another not a very popular opinion among the RPG fans of the Assassin's Creed series. Though it did have its problems as well. I thought the game was very grindy. I think it took me a long time to complete it. I think I took a break for about a year. I never played any of the DLC, so I never fully completed that one either. These games are just way too big ever since they went to the RPG formula. Way too big, way too grindy, not as interesting as they used to be. But that being said, a new Assassin's Creed has just been announced and it looks quite good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite excited for this one. So I've been scouring the internet, looking at articles, and I've jotted down a few notes here from the information I have found, and we're just going to go over it and talk about it. So let's start. Now, obviously this game is called Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It is set in the Viking era, or to be more precise, 873 AD. You play as a character called Eivor. You can play them as male or female, and there's a bit of character customization from what I can understand. You got to change the beard for the men, and the hair for the women, and different hairstyles. Well, you gotta change the hairstyles for both men and women, and you gotta include beards if you're a guy, obviously. And I think you gotta have war paint as well. So I'm quite looking forward to a bit of character customization. I like the fact they haven't gone too far with it. I like the fact you can't change their height or their muscles or anything like that. So it is just a set character. They haven't given you a blank slate. This is the character of Eivor. You just gotta change a little bit to make it your own. And from what I understand, dialogue choices have returned in this game as well. Now the game is set in Norway. You start the game in Norway and then eventually travel to England, and you do get to travel back to Norway. So the game's still open world, you get to travel between one or the other. I'm hoping it's not a loading screen transition. I'm not sure how they'll pull it off, but I would like to be able to just sail from one island, from one place to the next. Now England was obviously a bit different back then. There's not going to be one king. There's going to be lots of different kings. I think there's about 3 or 4 kings, and you'll be able to forge alliances with Lords of England as well. There's no details on what this means, but I hope it's you can team up with other lords to take down bigger lords, and then maybe betray the lords you were originally allianced with. I don't know, there's a lot of interesting ideas you could have for this. Alternatively, it'd be quite interesting to see if some of the lords will betray you. That'd be quite an interesting take as well. Like, yeah, there's one lord's really powerful and I can't take him on my own, so I'm going to have to alliance with another lord with the risk of them betraying you. I think it's quite interesting. You could also get to build your settlement in this game. You get to watch it grow, and you own like a blacksmith, a barracks, and a tattoo parlor. And there's choices in the game that affect the outcome of your settlement, because you are the leader of your settlement. Quite excited to see what moral choices I get put in. I'm wondering if it's going to be like, do I help the assassins do this, or do I keep my settlement protected? They say you get to own your barracks. Now, does that mean I gotta have my own army? Now I do know you get to have your own raiders, which I'll go into a little bit later, but can I customize my raiders, my army? Because there's a tattoo parlor, can I choose to have tattoos on myself? Obviously I'm assuming that's a thing, but can I get to put tattoos on my army? What about the blacksmith? Now I know obviously the blacksmith is going to be there to upgrade your own equipment, but can I upgrade the equipment of my raiders? I'm interested to see how much customization is going to be around this game. I'm hoping it's going to be a fair amount, even if it's just cosmetic for your army. Although I would personally like it so you could upgrade like the weapons of your raiders and stuff to make them more efficient. But even if it's just cosmetic as the bare minimum, just to make them feel like they're your raiders. Speaking of, you do get to build your own Viking raiders, which is quite cool, I think. You get to take them on your longboat and you get to use them to raid settlements, castles, and steal supplies for your village. Now, what I also found interesting is they also said that you can create chaos, giving you time to steal. Now, I think this is really interesting. So, I'm wondering if it's going to be something like you can send your raiders in to create a bunch of havoc, fight a bunch of dudes while you sneak in like a castle or something and steal some supplies, or it's going to be the other way around. So I'll go in, create a bunch of chaos and send some of my raiders to like steal a bunch of stuff, or we gotta just all do it together. So I'm wondering how much customization, or how if I get to order my mercenaries around, or it's just like a scripted sequence. So we're gonna go here, raid this, they'll go off and do their thing, I go off and do my thing. I hope I'm gonna be able to like choose what my raiders do, so it doesn't get as repetitive. So one time I might want to go in and kill a bunch of dudes, one time I might want to go in and just steal a bunch of shit. There's big potential here to make this a really interesting mechanic, so I hope they utilise on that. What I also found was interesting is that there's no online co-op in this game. There is no online in this game. I really enjoyed the Assassin's Creed Revelations multiplayer. No, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood multiplayer. Was it Brotherhood or Revelations? Assassin's Creed Brotherhood multiplayer. I really enjoyed that one. I never played the Assassin's Creed Unity co-op, although it did look really fun. I did look a lot of fun, but I never played that. But there's no online in this game at all. You do get to take your friends' Vikings, so like custom Vikings, and take them on raids with you, and they get to do the same for your raiders. And they also, if your friend takes a raider with them and they're successful, then your raider brings loot back to you. Now I'm wondering, if you're not successful or your friend's not successful, can your raider die? Do you have to physically accept to say yes, that raider can go off, or can your friend just take them? I'm wondering if there's any consequences for failing in this game, like can you lose your entire raiding party? Is that a thing? I don't know, it'd be quite interesting. I'm hoping so, because the more brutal this game is, I think the better it will be. Because the Viking area was a brutal time. Speaking of brutal, combat will apparently be brutal. You can dual wield anything, so swords, axes, you can have one sword, one axe, or you can just have like 2 shields if you want to like go Captain America and everyone just start chucking shields at them. I gotta be honest, I'm probably going to do that at least once just to see what it's like. As you see in the trailer, you can also throw axes as well. Also, the hidden blade is back, except for this time it's not so hidden. I'm also really hoping the hidden blade is a one-hit kill. Please let it be a one-hit kill. There was nothing less satisfying in the previous 2 games where you went up to stab someone and it did like half damage and then they just started attacking you anyway. I'm hoping this game's going to reward stealth a bit more if you want to play it stealthily. If you want to run in there and chop people up, then go have at it. But I'm hoping it's going to reward stealth a little more, because this is an Assassin's Creed game at the end of the day. You are an assassin, kind of. I'm not sure entirely if you will become an assassin in this, or you're just working with the assassins. From the video I watched, it almost sounds like you're working with the assassins in the beginning, like you've got common ground. So whether you'll become an assassin later on in the game, I don't know. I'm not sure entirely of the story details, and I don't really want to know too much because I want it to be a surprise. One thing that's interesting about this is there will be massive battles in this game. I think they're going to be like story scripted battles, but I hope they're more interesting than Odyssey. Odyssey's big battles are really, really boring because no one really killed each other. They just all swung their swords, hitting each other, but no one actually died. It felt like you were the only one on this big battlefield. It looked cool. It did look cool. But I would like to be able to like see other people, killing other people. Let me see my allies like fall, and let me see my allies like chopping people up, and make it feel like an actual battlefield. Don't make it feel like I am the center of attention in this battlefield and everyone else is just swinging their axes around for, shits and giggles. Now, one thing I did love the sound of is gear upgrading. You get to upgrade your gear with you. So if there's a really cool piece of gear you found at a low level and you just like the look of it and you want to keep it throughout, you can just upgrade it. You can keep gear you found at the very beginning and have it right the way to the end. It's entirely up to you. All you gotta do is upgrade the gear. You're not forced to swap out, which I really like, because there was some gear I really liked the look of in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then I'd have to swap it out for something else. Or I would spend like a bunch of resources upgrading something, and then like a few levels later it was useless. Now eventually in Odyssey they did change it, so you could have cosmetic gear, so you could wear what you want but then have the armor of another piece, you just wouldn't see it. I like that idea as well, but I much prefer the way they're doing it now. Just have one gear if you want and upgrade it as you want. Skill trees are back, and apparently they're going to be quite big. I'm assuming it's going to be like a stealth skill tree and a combat skill tree. I'm quite looking forward to seeing if they'll fine tune it a little bit, so like if I wanted to become really stealthy, I can, and I don't have to upgrade my hidden blade to like one-hit people. I really hope the hidden blade isn't messed up in this. Although the hidden blade's not so hidden, as he seems to be wearing it on top of his wrist instead of below it. But he's a Viking, he's probably like, yeah, this is an awesome piece of gear, why would I want to hide this? I'm a Viking, go at it. This game apparently is also going to be less about levels. I'm not entirely sure what they mean about that. I'm not sure if they scrapped leveling altogether. From what I read, it sounds like they've scrapped leveling, which is awesome. I'm not quite sure what they're replacing it with, but they did say you could sort of do anything you wanted. So for example, in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you would have to wait a couple of levels before you continued with the story mission. In this, you don't have to. If you want to just focus on the story missions, you can. You're not gate blocked by like, you got to be level 50 to do this story mission. You can just do it. And if you want to focus on your settlement building, then you can just do that as well. So that is great if that's true. They said something about it's more about power. So I'm assuming the more skill trees you build up, the more power you'll have. I'm not sure if that means you can just take on tougher enemies easier. I'm not entirely sure what that means. But I am glad that it sounds like they're scrapping the level system, and if I want to just blitz through the story, I can. If I want to take a break from the story and build my settlement, I can. I'm not, I'm not forced to stop what I'm doing just to get a few levels, just so I can do A, B, or C. I mean, the more freedom I get, the better the game will be, in my opinion. The eagle's gone as well. It's replaced by the raven. Not too fussed about that, to be honest with you. I think a raven is pretty cool and pretty, I don't know, it just feels right. It just feels right. Like you're in a Viking area and there's a raven. It just fits. I don't know why, it just seems to fit for me, so that's fine. Romance is back, and I'm praying it's going to be better than Odyssey, because Odyssey's idea of romance is just having sex with everything and anything that moves. Let's like build a relationship here, guys, Let's build relationships, make it meaningful. So this is something that's going to annoy a lot of people. The present day story is back. Personally, I've never found an issue with the main story. A lot of people would like it, so Assassin's Creed was just its own game, so like the present story wasn't involved at all, which I kind of get, but at the same time it would just be a bunch of random games if there was no, you can't go back in time and then forward in time and then back in time. So the present story sort of holds it together, kind of. It's very weak as of late, I'll be honest. I really enjoyed it when it was Desmond. A load of people hate Desmond, but I quite like Desmond's story. I don't really care too much about the present story nowadays. I'm not a massive fan of Layla. I don't know who any of the side characters are. I just don't care about it, to be honest with you. But it is back. It is back. But I have got a quote that I thought was interesting, and they said, "We found a way to blend the present day into a new type of experience for players." I don't know what that means, but I'm wondering if they're not going to drag you out into the real world. So I'm wondering if Layla is sort of goes into your world, if that makes any sense. I'm really not sure how they're going to do it. It's just that quote's quite interesting. I wonder if it's going to be a little different, so you're not going to be dragged out of the wild, and if you are, it won't be for long periods of time. I don't know. I'm quite interested to see what they mean by that. Okay, wrapping this up, release. Now, if you get this game for the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, you do get to get the game for free for your Xbox Series X or your PlayStation 5. Unfortunately, we got bad news for the PC players. This game is skipping Steam. No Steam release. Epic Store have once again stolen the exclusive on this one, I'm afraid. But you can get this on the Uplay Store if you prefer, which I probably do. I'm not a massive fan of the Epic Store quite yet. It's not quite where I wanted to be, where I'm ready to buy things off it. It might get there, but really bummed out that this game isn't going to be coming on Steam, at least not for a while. I'm not sure if it's ever coming on Steam. It just says no Steam release. It says it's skipping Steam. So if you're kind of a wait and see guy, I can't guarantee this game will ever come to Steam. We can hope though. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you looking forward to this game? Are you not, and why? I also did this video a little bit differently. I just jotted down a bunch of notes so I didn't read off a script, so I'm not sure my rambling made any sense. Let me know if you like that or you prefer the scripted format. Make sure to leave this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more reviews, guides, and in-depth looks soon. Thank you very much for watching, my friends. Have a good night. All day.